Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Scream 6. And this movie came out in 2023, this year, and I missed it while it was in theaters, and it was available for me to buy on Blu-ray, so I bought it. And in preparation for Scream 6, I rewatched Scream 5, or Scream 2022, or 5 Cream, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't recommend just calling it Scream because you're going to confuse a lot of people, so go with those first three that I just mentioned. But anyways, there were some things I wanted to bring up about the fifth movie, so I'll make this really quick. Don't worry, this won't take long. What I remember saying about it is that it was not good. I didn't find it scary. I didn't like Jenna Ortega in the movie. I found her to be kind of annoying, and rewatching the movie, I kind of got what they were going for now that I've seen the movie already. It did get better for me this time, and now that I knew it was what it was going for, I liked Jenna Ortega a lot more in this movie. And while the Scream movies up until this point, like the Wes Craven directed movies, they're like horror and comedy combined, and like they're supposed to make you laugh, and also supposed to make you feel scared. And this one has those elements, but it's also a kind of bleak and depressing because it's kind of like a dark character movie at the same time. And well, I liked the stuff that was new, like the new tone that was brought to this movie, and that's also brought into the next movie, but I'll get into that later. And there were some points where I did find it funny when it was actually trying to be funny, and I liked bringing back Dewey. I thought he was like the best addition to bring back to this movie. And Gail Weathers and Sidney Prescott, well, nice to see them back. They didn't really have much to do in the movie, and it was mostly just introducing these new characters and having this whole new plot going on. And there were things that I liked about it. The third act was kind of fun, but all in all, where this movie kind of lacks for me is the music and me not feeling scared for the entirety of the film. I didn't really find it scary. I liked that it was bloody, but bloody does not equal scary for me. And that's really where this movie falls apart for me, is that I did not feel scared, and I feel like that was one of the biggest things about the fifth movie, was that I didn't feel scared. So all in all, I didn't regret rewatching it, and I'm happy to own it now on Blu-ray, because before I was like, it's not good. And one last criticism that I did have with the fifth one is that I found it to be the most boring Scream movie out of all of the ones I've seen. Like, I do think 3 is probably worse than this movie. Like, 3 is more messy and a bit more incompetent, whereas this one's just like kind of bland, kind of boring, and I'm not really into it that much. So that's really the difference here. So those are my updated thoughts on the fifth movie. Now to get into 6. I enjoyed this movie more than the fifth movie, and although I do think this is kind of a bad title, IV, like Roman numerals in the M, like, really? That's the best you could have done? You can't just call it Scream 6, like the number 6, or just, if you want to do Roman numerals, just keep it out of the M. Like, why do you do that? That's so stupid. But anyways, unlike 5, I wasn't really bored while watching this movie, and I like the characters and the bits of comedy when it was trying to be funny. I found it to be funny, and I did like the characters, and it's also kind of a dark character movie like the first movie. Or, sorry, like the fifth movie. I keep wanting to say first. I guess I'll just have to say previous movie. It's basically 5, but set in New York and better. And I do think that the movie kind of uses the New York environment a bit, and it was kind of fun to watch. However, one criticism that I did have, although it is nice to be in New York, I felt like the movie could have used a few more wide shots. And that's also something that was lacking for me in 5, whereas, like, I wish there were more wide shots. But who knows, maybe there were some wide shots, like, just cut out and it just didn't look good, or maybe it, like, ruined the pacing a bit. But I just felt like you could have had more, and I wanted to see like New York a bit more, and especially since a decent amount of it was taking place outside. Like, I just wish I could see more of the environment. But where this movie does succeed for me is like the plot, and part of the fun of watching a Scream movie is like trying to figure out who the Ghostface is, and that was fun. And although I did kind of knew who Ghostface was because social media kind of ruined it for me, the story wasn't really less engaging for me. It's like I was still curious as to like where it was going, and it was fun. And the third act was satisfying and very enjoyable, even if there are some stupid things that happen. It was kind of cheesy, and it was like fully embracing like what I love about this series, and it knew what it was trying to be, and it just went with it. And I was like, yeah, this is Scream for me. And I did enjoy it, that this movie was violent, and although there were quite a few characters in this movie, I did get a sense of who they were, especially since I watched both the fifth movie and this sixth movie back to back, and I felt as though that helped my experience a bit, because had I not watched the fifth movie, then I probably would have been lost as to like who these characters were. And this movie does bring back characters from the previous movies, like Gail Weathers, she's back. Sydney Prescott, she's not in this movie, and they just say that like she didn't want to be a part of it. And I believe Neve Campbell said that she wasn't interested in doing the sixth movie, so that's why she's not in it either, or something like that. And Gail Weathers is back, and her character's kind of funny, and what they do with her, and it's fine. And I liked what she added to the film, and I thought the performances in this movie were really good. I liked Jenna Ortega a lot in this movie, and after watching Wednesday, I was like, yeah, she's got range, and she's a very good actor, and she's really good at conveying emotion, and I liked her character. And there's likable characters in this movie, like our main group of heroes. They're very likable characters, and where I do take issue with this movie is, like the fifth movie and a lot of the Scream movies, I don't really find this one scary, sadly. While I wasn't scared by anything in this movie, I don't think that ruins the movie, because it is trying to be a few different things, and there's a lot going for this movie. And although I do think like the music in the movie sucks, and it doesn't complement the film, and it's just like nothing special to me, there are plenty of elements to this movie that I did like, that helped out my experience. And unfortunately, I can't say what those things are because I don't want to spoil anything. And one last thing to bring up about this movie is they bring back a character that I believe was from Scream 4. And I didn't really recognize the character because I haven't seen Scream 4 in so long that I had to look it up to see like was that character from Scream 4? And I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, she was. And yeah, that made a lot of sense to me. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And that's about all I have to say about Scream 6. It was good. I liked this one more than 5, and it's a watchable film that I did not regret watching, and I'll be revisiting this movie, and I'll revisit all the Scream movies because I don't think any of them are like terrible. It's just that I have my favorites, and I'll do a Scream movie ranking someday. I'll have to revisit like the first 4 to really do that. So give me some time on that. I'll make one eventually, but for now, I'm just gonna give out my ratings. So for Scream 6, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, and 5 Scream 2022, or Scream 5, not calling it just Scream for obvious reasons. I'm updating my rating and giving it a 5 out of 10. Get it? See what I did there? 5 is a 5 and 6 is a 6. And who knows, maybe when Scream 7 comes out, and I believe they're planning a Scream 7, maybe that'll be a 7 out of 10. Who knows? Maybe this is all meant to be. Okay. But anyways, thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Scream 6, or you can also talk about the rest of the franchise if you want. And my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Princess Mononoke. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.